This past week, my brother Ron and I had the opportunity to take some vacation time and go see my parents in eastern North Carolina. Ron lives in Alabama, so we don't get to spend a great deal of time together in person anymore, although we do talk almost every day. So it was a real treat to take that 7-hour drive with him to Raleigh to see our parents together. And as we rode together, we shared a lot of laughs about growing up and fun times that we used to have. A lot of what we did on our trip was to tell old stories and to reminisce about our childhood together, about growing up Privat in a pastor's home in the 1970s and 80s. Some of the stories that we told really were truer than others. And then early Monday morning, just 1 week ago today, Ron and I took our father and headed over to the Greenmont Cemetery to remember and place fresh flowers on the grave of Ron's oldest son, Aaron, who died back in May of 2003 in an auto accident. It's just one of the things that we do when we're there. After visiting at Aaron's grave, my dad pointed out that he and Mom's spots were there too, and they'll be buried there one day as well. He always does that. And as strange as it sounds, it's never a foreboding or a dark thing. I suppose that's because his faith is too strong for us to think like that. He always speaks pretty matter-of-factly with a wry smile on his face, lately with maybe a bit more of longing in his voice. Perhaps Dad is, in his own way, trying to prepare us in some way, for he is in declining health. Just this week, I read a story about a small cemetery in Boalsburg, Pennsylvania, which is said to be the birthplace of Memorial Day. There, 3 young women, Emma Hunter, Sophie Keller, and Elizabeth Myers, began the custom of decorating soldiers' graves way back in the spring of 1864, while the Civil War was still being fought. These 3 young women wanted to recognize all the contributions of their neighbors who had paid the ultimate price, and they did it with what they had in their hands, some homegrown flowers. That idea of decorating graves caught on, and today, because of their thoughtfulness, millions of Americans across our country on this Memorial Day will remember with deep love and affection those brave soldiers who paid the ultimate sacrifice while in service for their country. Undoubtedly, our freedom is a gift to be treasured. And while we all may agree on that truth, if we're not careful, we can take it for granted. Sadly, we do that with lots of the great gifts that God gives to us. We do well on days like today, Memorial Day, to come to places like this. Currently, I'm in Veterans Plaza. You see it here at the church. And remember that those gifts are never free. They have a price that's paid, and that price is sacrifice. And because of the generosity of those names, those people whose names are engraved on these bricks right here, we can enjoy that gift of freedom today. So for all those who have protected our nation, for the men and women in uniform, together we say thank you. And today, may we take the time to remember and say a prayer of gratefulness for all those who have been willing to pay a great price for our freedom. May God help us to live so courageously that we may follow the brave examples of those who have gone before us. Amen and amen. And may God bless you richly on this Memorial Day.